Alright, got a double upload for you guys today. So we're actually going to start with the New York Rangers players and individuals, how they're pacing and how that compares to the season prior. We're at exactly the halfway point right now for the New York Rangers season, 41 out of 82 games, so literally halfway. In this first video, we're just going to be going over the players, the individuals, and see how they're pacing compared to last season. And for the next video that will be posted pretty much directly after this one, I'm actually going to be recording it while this one's uploading, is going to be at the Rangers as a team and how they are pacing. Let's not make this complicated. We're just going to jump right into it. All these screens are going to be the players as individuals. This is going to be the team as a whole. You can see every single player, their stat sheet this season and at the end of last season. So first of all, this is the Rangers scoring leaders just as of today. Panarin with the leads, Banjett a point behind, Fox 4 behind him, Trocheck 10 behind. So there's a clear definitive top three for the Rangers offense. Then it goes Trocheck, Kreider, Hedel, Miller, Gaudreau, Laffy, Kakko, VC, Trouba, Lindgren, Schneider, Julien Gauthier, Vitaly Kravtsov, Semi Blais, and then just miscellaneous. We're going to call it miscellaneous at this point. So there's your Rangers scores, leading scorers this season. Here's your Rangers scoring leaders last season. Pretty similar, you could argue. I would say very similar. This is where it gets interesting. So let's start with Artemi Panarin. Artemi Panarin this season has 45 points in 41 games, pacing for 90 points. Less than the mark he hit last year, but still a 90-point season. It's just, I find it kind of funny how we could sit here and argue and act and have a legitimate argument that Panarin is having a down year, yet he's still pacing for 90 points. You definitely would like to see a little bit more out of Artemi Panarin, preferably goal scoring. He's on pace for 22 goals, so to match his total from last season with that 32-goal season he had that first season was just super attractive. Artemi Panarin had 74 assists last year. He's pacing this season for 68. Still a very impressive season. Anything over 60 assists is just absolutely unheard of. Panarin really hasn't had a streak yet this season where he's like absolutely popped off. Then again, nor have the Rangers. So I'm not down on Panarin right now. I actually think he's having a good season, all things considered. But I do believe that Panarin's pace will pick up at some point, and he'll heat up and he'll just have one of those like ridiculous like 20 points in his last 12 games or something stupid like that. Like it's gonna happen at some point. But Artemi Panarin, I mean, in terms of his Rangers career, yeah, technically he's having a down season, but he's still pacing for 90 points, which is in the upper echelon of NHL. So, pretty damn good, all things considered. Mika Bananadad, last season 29 goals, 52 assists for 81 points in 81 games. This season he's pacing for 88 points and just under 40 goals, 38 goals. So, we're having a season where Mika is scoring a lot. He's scoring a good amount. Mika's had a couple streaks now where he's been super hot and then a couple streaks where he's been super cold. It's kind of hard to predict where his season's going to go and if he's going to finish over a point per game or if he's going to cool off or absolutely heat up like he did this season when he had 41 goals in 57 games, which is absolutely ridiculous for those of you that do not know. 41 divided by 57 times 5 plus 41. He was pacing for 59 goals that season, which is pretty freaking crazy. If we would have had a full season, or if he would have had a full season. Zibanejad is he's probably been our most consistent offensive threat in terms of goals, assists, just being active every single game. I really haven't watched a game where I've been like, damn, Mika sucks. No, he's actually been consistent the entire season. I believe the only forward to be consistent this season. So I think Zibanejad is having an awesome year and has proven again that he is one of the big leaders on this team. Adam Fox pacing for 80 points, which is 6 above last season. Been a weird year for Fox. There was a point where he was well over a point per game, and now he's just under a point per game. But still, 66. He's pacing for 66 assists and 14 goals. Honestly, I do have a feeling that he's going to end up scoring a lot more, and he's going to finish over a point per game and score over 82 points this season. But that's going to be pretty reliant on the Rangers as a whole playing better and scoring more. And until we get help at the trade deadline, I just don't see how that's going to happen because the Rangers roster has not changed since day one, aside from Reeves not being here and Carpenter losing his spot to Brzezinski. So I really don't know, but the Rangers are kind of flat right now. They're kind of basic. They're kind of boring. It's just the same thing from the start, and we're definitely gonna need some help. And if we do get some good help at the deadline, I fully expect Adam Fox to be well over a point per game this season. I mean, look at this dude. 42 and 70, then 47 and 55, then 74 and 78. He's somehow getting better and better and better and better. But Fox is playing out of his mind. probably the MVP of the Rangers aside from Shesterkin. Chris Kreider, well, he's not pacing for 52 goals, but he's pacing for about 40 goals, which is pretty damn good, all things considered. Chris Kreider, I mean, you could argue he's had a very quiet season. Well, I kind of disagree. I don't think he's had a quiet season. He's definitely had a quieter season than the season before where he scored 50 goals. But, I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to match that. Another guy who's been relatively consistent offensively. You're never going to get a whole lot of assists out of Kreider. I mean, he's one of the few players that have more goals and assists in their career. I don't think he's had a bad year by any means. Up and down the lineup, he's played on all top three lines, and he's performed in all of them. Is what it is at this point. You know, what you see is what you get with Kreider, and he's pacing for 40 goals, so it's really hard to complain about Chris Kreider this season. You wish he could do more and be more noticeable and win the eye test every single night, but he had his guy. I mean, he's pacing for about 40 goals. I mean, you can't really ask very much more out of your guy than that. Vincent Trocheck, last year 51 points in 81 games. This year pacing for 60. He's pacing for 26 goals and 34 assists for 60 points in 82 games, assuming he plays a full season, doesn't get hurt. Knock on wood that he does not get hurt. Trocheck is pretty. I mean, I would say he's been better than advertised. I mean, he's a lot more physical than I thought. He's got a lot better shot than I thought he had. He's faster than I thought he was. He's got a better shot. He's doing everything better than I thought he would. He's got to continue playing the way he's playing. Hopefully put up a few more points because the offense is kind of in need of secondary scoring at this point, aside from the big three that I mentioned in Fox, Zibanejad, and Panarin. And in Kreider too. Kreider's scoring a lot. We really don't have any this guy's going to save us. He's going to score a big goal. And you could argue, I mean, absolutely Trocheck can score a big goal and has scored big goals, but he needs a little bit more help, and having better players on his line I think would help that. Speaking of players who have stepped up this season, Filip Chytil with the best point per game season he's ever had in his career. He's almost matched his career high in literally about half the amount of about half the amount of games, 60 games, 23 points. Pacing for 22 goals and 42 points. And it would come out to 74 games. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good if Chytil could put up those numbers. I believe on an 82-game slate, let's see what that would be. 33, 49 plus 21, 52-point season. Not bad. Not bad at all for Filip Chytil. He's definitely won over a lot of Rangers fans. He's noticeably better this season, and 21 points in 33 games is not bad at all. I mean, that's your third-line center. He's producing at a 50-point, 82-game pace. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. So it's kind of hard to be disappointed in Filip Chytil. It's an excellent season. Keandre Miller, pacing for 40 freaking points. That's awesome. Keandre Miller is not only pacing for 40 points, but pacing for over 30 assists. Now, this is a guy that people questioned his offensive upside. Yeah, I think you can put those questions to bed because you're looking at a potential 40-point defenseman that is arguably, defensively, your best player right now on defense. And that's no slight to Adam Fox or anybody else. It's just Keandre Miller is just that freaking good. Keandre Miller's had an excellent season, and I really don't have much to add on to that. He's just been freaking awesome for the Rangers. Barclay Goodrow, as much as he pisses me off, is actually pacing for a pretty good season. He's pacing for just under 40 points, and he's pacing for 16 goals, so he's actually supposedly on pace to put up better numbers than he had last season. I do believe that's from an accelerated role. He's playing much higher in the lineup and more consistently than he did last season. You can almost attribute that to the Rangers' lack of success in scoring, but then again, he's had his guy. He's scoring better than he did last season. I do believe that Barclay Goodrow's most ideal part in the lineup is on the fourth line or maybe the third line as a really good depth guy. Having him in your top six, I think, is a mistake, especially if there's better players out there. And I do believe there are, and I do believe that after the trade deadline's done, that he will be down in that bottom six role, and there will be better scores put ahead of him. But until then, this is the hand we were dealt. This is the guy we have, and he's playing better this season than he did last season on a straight, looking at his stat sheet, what he's producing, points per game, goals per game, assists per game, yada, yada, yada. He's already producing better than that. So I can't really complain about him on that aspect. I just think we could do better. Alexis Lafreniere, 18 points in 40 games, pacing for 36 points. And 10 goals. Yikes. We're going to need more out of Laffy. I don't know if it's ice time. I don't know what it is at this point. But he's got to do more. Because 18 points is 36 points in his third year. Former first overall pick. It's bad. It's really bad. Especially because, we all expect him to have over 20 goals this year. And he's pacing for 10 barely. It's just tough. So we're going to need a lot more out of Alexis Lafreniere. And I don't know how it's going to come, but it needs to. Capo Caco, 5 points away from matching his career high, 18 points in 41 games, pacing for 36, and 18 goals, 18 assists throughout the season. Still not a great year, still only a 30-point player in his 4th year in the NHL. You wish you could see more, but is what it is, I guess. He's noticeably better this season. At least we have that going for us, is that he is noticeably better. So he's winning the eye test. It's just the stat sheet just... wish he could do a little bit more. But is what it is. More to be seen. He's only going to be 22 years old, and he won't be 22 for another month. He's still a literal child. So we're good. We're all right. I hope so, at least. Jimmy Vesey, definitely the surprise of the season. Pacing for 28 points and 14 goals. Vesey's probably been the steal of free agency for the Rangers. Considering we didn't sign anybody, it's not saying much, but still. Vesey's been a very pleasant surprise. Got a 2-year extension. He's played so well. So can't complain about Jimmy Vesey. He's really done no wrong. Also, let's... yeah, it's better. Everyone's favorite, Jacob Trouba. On pace for literally just about the same amount of points last year. Less goals. Few more assists. No, never mind. He's not pacing for more. I'm an idiot. I read that line wrong. No, he's pacing for about 10 less points. Half the amount of goals and half the amount of assists. Well, not half the amount of assists, but decent amount less assists. Trouba is just... 3 more years after this season, he's under contract with the Rangers. Just... Dash 5 too. I know plus minus isn't everything, but by God. The one thing you can say about Jacob Trouba this year is that his PIMs are down. He is pacing for less penalty minutes, which is cool. He's taking less dumb penalties, but kind of expect that out of your supposed defensive leader. Ryan Lindgren. He's not a numbers guy. You don't need him to score a lot, but he's still pacing for almost 30 points. Pretty damn good. Good season out of Ryan Lindgren. Hasn't scored a goal yet, but we don't need him to. Excellent defensive player. Pacing for 26 assists, no goals. Sure, that'll change. He might get 1 goal in there, but I mean, if Ryan Lindgren puts up 30 points, that's a really good season. That is a really good season. Even if he over 20 points, where he's at now, he can finish the season 2 day with 13 points, not get another point the rest of the season, and that's still a good season for your defenseman. So I'm very happy with Ryan Lindgren this year. And his PIMs are up a little bit, but you wish he would take less penalties because he has taken a lot of penalties this year, and it's noticeable. But he's playing fine. Braden Schneider. Pacing for 20 points. His offensive output is near damn identical to that of last year. A couple more goals, but he's noticeably better. There was definitely some question marks at the beginning of this year for Braden Schneider. He did not look nearly as good as he did at the end of last year and in the playoffs. But this season, I would say around the 20-game mark, Braden Schneider absolutely took off and has been, honestly, a very comfortable option on that third pair. He has not been a liability by any means. He's been awesome, and he's only going to get better. I mean, this kid's 21 years old, and he made the NHL at 20, and no one thought he'd be in the league until he's 22, 23. So Schneider is already well above where anyone expected him to be, and he's continuing to improve and get better. So I'm very happy for Braden Schneider. Julian Gauthier finally figured out how to score. He's still not scoring that much, but he's scoring nonetheless, pacing for about 18 points. Honestly, what more could you ask for? He's probably going to end up getting benched after the trade deadline, assuming the Rangers pick up other assets. Vitaly Kravtsov finally made his way into the Rangers lineup, and hasn't done bad. Hasn't done great, hasn't done bad. He's men's and men's. It is what it is. I have nothing more to say on Vitaly Kravtsov aside from that. It is what it is. Let him, just hope he grows. Yeah. Let's skip over that one. Brzezinski. Hey, he matched his output last year in half the amount of games. That's cool. Brzezinski's a good player. He doesn't need to score. He's just a good fourth liner, a guy you plug in, a great 13th forward. A Greg McKegg, if you would. A better Greg McKegg. We're going to go to Jaro Halak first instead of Shesterkin. Jaro Halak is having an absolutely awful year. Below 900 save percentage. Who would have predicted it? He had just about a 900 save percentage the last 2 seasons. Wow, it's almost like we should have signed him and signed a better backup goalie like I called for, but it's okay. We signed Yaroslav Halak. Great. 37-year-old backup goalie who's really not been that great in the past 2 years. But it is what it is. This is the hand we were dealt, so we're going to play it. Just bad. Just bad. And he has a no movement clause, so we can't even do anything with him. $1.5 million in cap space. Money that could have been used to re-sign Tyler Mott. But we chose Halak instead. Remember that. We had Louis Domingue just waiting for us in the minors. He could have very well have been our backup. And literally makes half the amount of money. We chose Halak, though. Because why not a 37-year-old goalie? We've never had problems with old backups before, have we? Of course we have. Igor Shesterkin, moving on to a more happy note. Shesterkin, despite not having nearly as good of a season as he did last season in terms of save percentage and goals against average, is still the MVP of this team, the Rangers' most valuable player, and is still putting up absolutely ridiculous numbers. A .916 save percentage and 248 goals against average, and wins over half of his games. What more could you ask for? Is what it is. I really don't have much else to add on to that. We're going to look at the Rangers' miscellaneous stats and see where they sit, and then we're going to go ahead and can this and go to the... what's it called? Team stats, and that'll be in the next video. In terms of hits per 60, what was that, this season? Okay, so we want to do 20 games. We'll go to last season, we'll add a filter, we'll do 20, because that'll get us all of our deadline pickups. Okay. So starting with hits per 60, obviously Blaze up there. Gauthier surprisingly is up there. Blocks per 60 minutes. Truber, Schneider, Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Carpenter. Wow, VC's up there too. Those are good numbers, man. Those are actually really good numbers. Giveaways. This is where it's going to be pretty telling. Yeah. But, they're trying to create offense, so it's to be expected. Takeaways per 60 is always an interesting number. Yeah, Jimmy VC, wow. VC, Fox, Miller, Trocheck, wow. Who misses the net the most? He also shoots the most. Fair play. What about last year? Yeah, see, Lafreniere was taking the puck away last year a lot more too. He was more aggressive last year, like noticeably. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him this year, but he's just been quiet, like all year. I don't know why. Who missed the net the most last year? It was Banton, of course. Okay, whatever. That's a fun stat. What else we got here? We can look at real quick. Puck possession. Yeah, it's my favorite. My favorite. Just give it a moment. We're gonna look at this, and then we're gonna call it a video. I want to look at this season's numbers. Okay, I don't know what any of this shit means, but yeah. Anyways, it's the Rangers this season. So far, at least. Some players that are maybe doing better than we think they actually are on paper, and then some players that aren't doing as much as we wish they would. But you guys comment below your thoughts on all that, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on that Rangers as a team video and see how they're doing. But y'all comment below your thoughts on the Rangers players this season. We're at the halfway point. We'll see what happens next. Who knows? It's a long season. 41 games is a lot. It's a lot. We'll see what happens. Peace out.